far, but I think we'll have more join us. Great, well, I'm glad you're here because I'm excited about the change to get rid of green sheets. And it's very simple to do, and I think that you will love it too. We're going to get started here, and if anybody else joins us, that's okay. They can join us. So we're going to come into, we're going to come on in, and we're going to come into Command, and we're going to go into the opportunities. The new commission section is in the opportunities section. So we're going to come in.
Can you just wait for a minute? I want to pull up my command as well.
Sure, go ahead. Let me know when you're ready.
I find this many times much more practical if I'm exercising that you're teaching me right away.
Absolutely. If you're following right along, that's always great.
Okay, there you go.
Great. So now we're in Command, and we're going to come into the opportunities. So we're going to just very quickly create an opportunity for whichever client we're interested in working with here. So I'm going to just very quickly create an opportunity. As you know, it's always best to name the opportunity, if you can, the address of the property, if you have it. And you have to just come down, fill in just a couple of more pieces of information. And here, we're going to just create this opportunity. So once you've created the opportunity, the best thing to do, the very first piece that you should do, is come into this section here that says property and hit the pencil and actually put in the property location of the property that you have the opportunity on and that you're doing the commission on. This serves a few purposes. This feeds into the commission itself and the offer, and it also helps the compliance department be able to find your opportunity a lot easier. So I'm going to just simply save the opportunity. And now you're going to see here, obviously, you know about documents, where you're going to obviously be able to go in and pull in your documents through DocuSign. But the tab that we're going to focus on today is one of two tabs. We're going to focus on first this offers tab. And then once we do the offers tab, this commissions tab, you'll see will open up. The very first thing we're going to do is click on this offers tab. And one of the great pieces that Command is going to have coming very, very shortly is that when you add new offers into this offer section, you're going to be able to share them with your clients right through the app. So you're going to be able to I'm assuming within the next couple of months, you're going to be able to add any offers that you have here, share them with your client right either through Command, which you can do already, or soon share them through the app, where they then can make comments, talk back and forth with you, negotiate with you, and very easily have a lot of information about all their offers. Here, the other thing about putting your offers in here too is having an offer timeline. So if you have a listing where you've gotten multiple offers, or your buyer has put multiple offers on different properties, you can add them all in here and have a timeline or a record of all the offers that have come in. So it's a good way just to have everything in one place. So once I click on offers, I'm going to be able over here to add a new offer. And again, you can call the offer anything you like. It defaults to initial offer, but you can add this to, make it be whatever you want to create this offer. And it's going to start to just ask you some basic pieces of information. So it's going to start to ask here what the offer date is. And then it can start to ask for your estimated closing date, which again will feed into the commission that you create in a few moments. If it's a Keller Williams listing, you can select the listing from KWLS, or if you want to manually enter it in, you can manually enter it in. And so this page is essentially just asking for your offer date, your closing date, and your property information. And then I'm going to hit parties, which is going to bring me into the next field. And it's going to bring all your buyer informations from your opportunity. So any information that you put in both your contact record and your opportunity for this client is going to show here on the left-hand side. And on the right, it's just going to ask for the other side. And of course, if you are representing the seller, your information would be on this side, and it's going to ask for the other party information. And as you notice, there's an asterisk. So the only fields that you have to fill in are the ones that contain the red asterisk, and there's really not that many of them. So here I can just start to put in the name of the seller. I don't have to fill in any of his personal information if I don't have it or I don't want to put it in. I literally don't have to fill any of this information in if I don't want to. And then you're going to see down here that you are representing your client on your side, and it's just going to ask for the agent who's representing the other side. And you can put in their name, and if you wanted to put in their email, you could. So it's asking you just to fill that in. And that's all that this page asks for. And now we're going to go to the next page, which is terms. And the terms here is essentially the pieces that you would put on the purchase offer. So when you're filling out the purchase offer and you're putting down exactly how much they're putting as a down payment, how much they're financing, and the total sale price, these are the things that you're going to put into this box. So I'm putting $5,000 down, my client is, and the mortgage is for $245 because the final sale price is $250. That's how I would fill this section in up here. So it's just, again, the terms of the transaction. As we scroll down a little bit more, it's not really customary in our area to take any earnest money or any sort of a binder check or binder deposit, but if there is anything associated with your transaction, you can put it in here. Same with auction fees and things along this line. These really aren't very common in our marketplace, but if any of this does apply to you, you certainly could put the information here. And same thing down here, if there's any sort of seller contributions to closing costs or any sort of seller contributions to any services, you certainly could put all this information in if you have it, but really the only fields that are really you're going to focus on really are these ones up here. And then again, we're going to hit agent analysis. And this is the very last page of this offer section. And this goes back to what I said earlier, where you can share this offer with your clients now right through command or very soon right through the mobile app. So what you could do here is if you chose to, you could write a little analysis of the pros and cons of the offer. So maybe it's a quick closing date. Maybe the cons are they have to sell a house first. And you can make all these notes here. You know, I think this is a good offer. Whatever you wanted to tell your client, you could put little notes in here. And if you were to share this with them, either through the app or through command itself, you then could share these notes with them and let them know exactly what you think of the offer. And when you filled in these 4 quick little sections, you're going to hit save. And now you're going to see here a little synopsis or a little timeline of the offer that you have, what the amount is, and any information that you have pertaining. And over here with these 3 little dots, this is where you could send the offer if you wanted to your client. So you could send it to them right through here, and it'll just open up an information to do their, send the message. Here are your offers. You could even add the attachment of the purchase offer if you wanted to. Or you could remove the offer, change the analysis, edit it, negotiate it, and you could start to just use these to modify this. But once the offer is accepted and you know that this is the offer that you're moving forward on, you're simply going to just hit accept. And now it's going to accept that offer, and this is going to be the offer that's accepted. So if you have several offers that your buyers have put in, you're going to just accept the one that you're moving forward on that you need to do the commission on. And now you're going to notice you have the offer here, but now this commissions tab has opened up. Where it wasn't open before, now this commissions tab can able to be clicked on. And this is where you're going to fill out the breakdown, very similar to what you did prior in the green sheet. But a lot of this information is going to already pull over for you. So you'll notice here the sale price comes through, the commission comes through, and if you had to change these things, obviously you could if they were not correct. The contract date does not, so now would be an opportunity that we have to put in the date that the contract was signed. Your estimated closing date here. And it's going to start to show your agent breakdown. So depending on who's on this transaction, it's really going to be dependent on who goes in this agent breakdown section. So if you're on the transaction solely yourself on your side, now, again, we're considering who is on the buyer side of this particular transaction. So if you are on the buyer side alone, representing the buyer, you would obviously leave this breakdown the way that it is. But I know in a lot of cases, whether you're on a team or you're sharing this buyer or you're working in some sort of a partnership with another agent, you may have to split this commission with somebody else. And that you would do right here through this units box. So if I was going to be completely alone on this transaction, just me as a single agent, you'll see here, it's got my breakdown, my commission split, all of my information, and my option to donate to KW Cares if I choose to. And it'll start to give me my breakdown of all my information. But let's say I was splitting this with another agent and I had a co-buying agent, or I was on a team. This is where I could come in here to this unit section and I could simply just change it to whatever my change is. Okay? So it's going to be, let's say 70-30 is the split on this. Now, please note, as much as I hope they change this very, very soon, as of right now, when you change the unit, the dollar amount does not change. So you do have to manually change the dollar amount. So when you change that 0.7, you'll notice my commission amount did not change. So that is something that I have to change manually in order to have it match. So far what yes.
I'm sorry. Does unit stand for how many agents are involved in the transaction?
Well, but units is each side of a transaction is considered one unit. So let's say, for example, you are representing the buyer, as in my example here.
Yeah.
The buyer side is one unit. So a side of a transaction is one unit. So if you're splitting the transaction with another agent, 50-50, or in some fashion, you have to take that one unit and divide it between the two of you.
So I have to put a 2 over here?
One unit.
I have put the 2 over here instead of a 1?
It'll never be 2. It'll never be more than 1 because each side is only one unit. So it'll never be more than 1.
So what do I have to fill in if for instance, I have another buyer to share commission, or if I have a referral agent to share a little bit of my commission? Do I have to change the number?
You have to change the unit to reflect the percentage that you're getting. So let's say, for example, in my sample here, I'm splitting this with my team member. I get 70% and they get 30%. That's how my breakdown works. So I'm going to change my unit to, instead of being a 1, instead of being one whole side, to being 0.7 because I'm keeping 70%. So it's the same exact way that it worked on the green sheet. It's just, obviously, it's here. So if I'm splitting 50-50, I can change this to 0.5. And then I just have to redo the math because, like I said, I hope that's something that they change. I just have to redo the math. And now what it's going to show me is that I am half of the unit, half of the commission, and then it's going to prompt me to add the agent that I'm splitting the other half of it with. So if you're split, it's going to, no, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
So,
so now and by the way, on the right side, I have a spreadsheet, which I have no idea what it stays for and what it says, but
on what?
What do you explain it?
Yes, I will.
What is about? You see over here, you have the total commission is 6,200, right?
Right. It's like a summary or a breakdown.
Yeah, but so by the pay to the agent, I see $1,600, and Over here, it says $3,100.
Well, we haven't finished yet, so let's
Okay.
just follow my lead and I will show you exactly what it is that I'm doing, right?
No
So
problem.
now I'm going to change this unit and then my GCI. So this is your GCI, or your gross commission income, the 3125. This is before I've paid the company anything yet. This is before my commission split, before my franchise fee and my royalty. So that's the difference between this number and this number, is your commission to the company. However, I only have half a unit here, and I have a big red bar that reminds me that my agent unit must equal a 1. So as I go through, I will see my breakdown, my company dollar, all of my deductions as an agent. And you're going to see a button down here that says Add Agent. So because I prompted the system to know that there is a second agent now involved, now this button to add an agent shows. And I can select any agent I want to be on the other side of my transaction, whoever it is that I'm splitting with it, add that person, add their percentage of the transaction. So if I'm at 50%, they have to be at 50, of course, because it has to match, it has to equal a 1. They can donate, of course, to KW Cares here in this box. And now I have 2 agents on this transaction because I'm splitting this 50-50 with this agent. And now I have both people here. Now, obviously, if I was alone on the transaction, I would just leave this section here a 1 unit, leave the commission, and not bother adding a second agent because there isn't one on the transaction. So it really depends on who's on your transaction and who's being paid on your side of the deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very good. And only one question: does that apply also to a referral agent? Let's say
No,
if
a referral agent is a second spot. So now,
Okay.
let's say I also have a referral on this transaction. As I scroll down underneath my check amount, so I'm going to see my whole summary and my check amount. Down here, you're going to see this button that says Add an Item. This is for any deductions that you have on this transaction, including referral fees. So if I have to add a referral fee, I'm going to hit Add an Item, and I'm going to choose the type of deduction that I'm doing here. Let's say it's 25%. It's going to ask you to find out the tax ID number of the other company, which is important because your MCA needs to know that in order to pay, and ask you who the brokered company is, who the name of the agent is, the address of the company. So you're going to have to request a W-9 from that company in order to have this information for the outside referral. And you'll be able to add the referral now. And so what you're going to see on the right-hand side here is that breakdown. So this is just going to be a summary. It's going to give you the total commission, how much you're paying in referrals, company dollar, royalty, and the agents involved. And all your information is here in a brief little summary. And that's it. That's all there is to doing this commission. So once you're done, you'll just hit submit and you'll submit it to your MCA, same as you would with your green sheet. And now we'll know that there's a closing coming in that we need to do, that we need to process and be on the lookout for. So it's really, like I said, it's the 2 steps. You're going to add the offer, which is most of your information, and then you're going to come into the commission and you're going to add whatever commission you need to get this to your MCA. Does anybody have any questions? I have a question in the chat.
I have a question. Are we gonna put the green sheet in the regular KWLS, or this is
No.
enough?
No, with this, you're not going to do the green sheet any longer. Once you start doing this, it's one or the other. So if you've
Okay.
processed a green sheet already, don't go back in and process commissions on things that you've already done a green sheet on, because the system, we already have those. So it's just anything going forward you'll want to do, because you don't need both.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Anybody else have any?
And this is besides the commission statement that we're saying.
Yes, Yes, the commission statement you're still going to do, and there's blank ones of those in
Yeah,
DocuSign, so
okay.
you'll still be able to do your commission statement. This replaces the green sheet, is really all this does. Is it replaces the green
Yeah.
sheet. It's all in one place, which I like. It's connected to your opportunity, so you're not logging in and out of different places, and it's very simple, and it is actually simpler
Right.
on the MCA side as well than the green sheet was.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So does anybody have any other questions? It's really that simple. Does everybody find that you definitely would be able to do this for sure? In replacement of the green sheet?
Yes.
Wonderful. So now if we wanted to go back and if I wanted to show you one that was a listing side, we could do that as well. We could pull up a listing side opportunity. Here and do our listing side opportunity. Let me just do what was an actual listing so that it doesn't kick me out. So if I was doing a listing opportunity, I would do the same thing. I would create the opportunity, come into here, and you can either put the property in here, or if you know it's a KW listing, you can select from listings and put in the listing that you need to do. The commission on. So you'll find it and select it from the KWLS, and you'll see it fills now in this property box. And you'll present the offer the same as you did for the buyer. You'll come in, you'll add a new offer, and you'll be able to fill in this information just like you did before.
But shouldn't you already have the information in? Because if it was your seller, you should already have the stuff inside.
You would already have the opportunity and the documents in, but you may not have put the offer in at this point until there's an accepted offer, especially if it's your listing. You wouldn't start off
Right.
with an offer. So you would have to come
Right,
in, you would
right.
have all of these done. You would now come into offers. I just started, I didn't
Right.
have an opportunity for this
Right.
particular one, so I did that quick.
Okay.
And again, same as before, add your parties. You're already automatically here. Of course, your terms of your offer. And any announcement. So whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, it really is the same process here. So now we're going to hit save. And now again, we have our offer here that we need to accept. And the minute we accept it, this commissions tab opens. And now we're able to fill in all this information. So if you're the
Okay.
only agent on the
I have another-
transaction, it's easy because you'll leave it alone.
Right.
What's your question?
So I noticed that it says like down payments and then the amount that you give at closing. But a lot of times there's like a mortgage amount and there's another amount that you pay at closing.
You're going to
amount.
combine the two cash amounts. So if they're putting down,
Right.
let's say 10,000 on contract and 50,000 at closing, you're going to do 60,000 as cash
Mhm.
and then the rest is being financed. So you would combine those amounts in this instance.
Okay. Okay.
And if there's a
Okay.
seller concession, let's say, for example, there is a concession and your net to seller is not the same as the sale price, this is where you would be able to change that commission amount in here. So you would come down here. Let's say it becomes 6,500 because of a seller concession. Then you would just make sure that your amounts all match up. That's all. So that's if there's a concession.
Okay.
Hi, Ebru. How are you? I see you said hello. So yeah, so that's here. You can do that. And again, for any sort of items that you have that are any concessions or any sort of inside outside referrals, bonuses. I know in some cases there may be a bonus to the agent, anything along those lines. You can add anything like that here. You can also add notes to your MCA. So you can also hit here and add a note. So if you wanted to let your MCA know something, you can add a note and then hit submit. And it's really that simple. Do we have any other questions?
Hey, Erin.
Hi.
I came in a little late. I was just
Yep.
wondering, is it going to be on video for?
Yep, this is being recorded, and I can show you quickly one more time.
Okay, thank
That's okay. And if
you.
anybody wants to bail out, they can, but I can show you quickly one more time. So you're going to create your opportunity first. So once you're in Command, you're going to create your opportunity, and I'm not going to show you that part because that part you should know already. And once you go into your opportunity, whether you're the buyer or the seller, you're going to either select from KWLS listings, or you're going to add the property information down here in one of these two. You're going to just add the property information, and you'll see it fills in here. And you're going to come in, everyone, you're going to add the offer. So you're going to come in and you're going to add an offer with all of the offer information that you have on your purchase offer. So when we start to fill in this create an offer spot, you're going to see it's going to start asking you for the offer date. That's the date of the offer, obviously, and your estimated closing date. And you're just going to follow the asterisk spots. So you're just going to follow the red asterisk spots and fill in the information that it needs for these spots. So I can even say that you're buying this. So you're going to put in the name of the other side of the other party, and you're going to put in the name of the other agent on the other side. That's it. Just the red asterisk spots is all you have to fill in here. And that's it for this page. And then we're going to skip to the terms page. And you're going to put in however much they're putting down, whether it's a down payment at contract or at closing, however much they're putting down, you're going to put in this box. And then you're going to also put whatever they're financing to give you your sale price. So those two items obviously make up the sale price, whatever they're financing and whatever they're putting down at contract. And then on the next page, you could put a little analysis for your client that because you can send them this offer and have them view it. So you could put in any pros or cons and give them your opinion on this particular offer to help guide them through whether they want to accept it or not, or whether they want to counter or whatever their scenario is. So, but this is a completely optional page. So now you're going to hit save. And once the offer is created, you'll see it here. So you'll see a timeline of any offers that you've put in on this particular opportunity. And you're going to accept the offer that is the offer that's moving forward that you need to do the commission on. You're going to accept that. And now you're going to see that this commissions button is now active. It's now live. It was not live before. But now that you've accepted an offer, it is. And you're simply going to come in. It's going to pull over the sale price, the commission. It's going to pull this information over because you already entered it. It's going to ask you for your date that the contracts were fully executed. It's going to pull over your closing date. And then it's going to show you your breakdown. It's going to show you who's on the transaction based on what you've told the system. You're on the transaction. So in this case, it'll show me that I am receiving the commission. And then it's going to show me my royalty, my company dollar, and any other breakdown that I have, any other monies that I owe out. It's going to show me here my royalty, which is my franchise fee. It's going to show me here my company dollar. And then it's going to show me here any deductions. And I can add a KW Cares deduction if I choose to. And now it's going to show me on the right-hand side is a total summary of everything I just did. So it's going to show me the total commission, how much I'm paying to the company, and how much I'm getting. And it's going to tell me exactly what my check's going to be when all is done. And I can hit submit when I'm done. And that submits it to the MCA, and that is the process to complete the commission. Do you have any questions on that?
No, thank you, Erin.
You're very welcome. Does anybody else have any questions then before we wrap up? Okay. great. Well, I thank you guys very much for being here. I know this wasn't a very long class, but it's not a very intensive process. So hopefully this will replace the green sheets. So like I mentioned earlier, no need to do both. You'll do one or the other, preferably the commission as opposed to the green sheet, and have all of your information in one place. So thank you guys very much for being here.
Do I have, hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Do I have to, after I finish,
Mhm.
I have to press the submit button?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And then, yep, and then you'll get this blue bar here that now says your commission is under review by your MCA.
Oh,
So
oh.
now the MCAs get the commission, and then we'll approve it or ask you if we have any questions or anything like that, just like we did before. Now, this is very similar with the green sheet. If you do have to make a correction to a commission, you do have to still let your MCA know, just like you did before. You can't make changes to this page here once it's submitted.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And if I don't have any other questions, I thank you guys very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.